Yeah, caffeine and cupcakes. Come and get a little taste. I like to listen to it on my break. People been talking, I must say. We keep it real when we show up. Gotta do it for the culture. You should come and get to know us, cause we really taking over. The conversation, we keep it authentic. No holding back and we never pretending. Let's get it started. Only good energy is what we bringing. You know that I'm with it. Hey, pour another shot of coffee. Get the cupcake like that. Caffeine and cupcakes. You were checking out the podcast. Let's go.
All right. We're back again. I believe we're on episode 10 of Caffeine and Cupcakes. I'm your host, Alvena Willis, and we have our co-host, Edward Newbins. And we have a special guest in the house today, Logic. He is so many things, a jack of many trades. He's a vice principal. He does the griot party. That's the storytelling and healing. We've mentioned him many times on our podcast, so it only makes sense to have him to come on and talk with us today about a few things. He also has a podcast, Seed Talk. And outside of that, he's an artist and a creator of many things. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Yep. Logic, man. I consider myself like an edutainer, using, education and entertainment, blending them together, synthesizing them, and being a content creator, community activist and builder, and of course an educator. So I'll consider myself an artist, and using the arts to provide safe places for us to feel, heal, build, and grow. I mean, that's the template, that's the four corners of the griot party experience, which is spoken word, storytelling, theater. And I got a couple podcasts myself, Seed Talk, and I'm also on the radio on 91.3 KBCS. So you can check me out on.
Okay.
I don't think I knew that.
All the
I didn't know that one.
Whatnot, check out. Just put my name in there. Logic Man commentaries. Logic Man's militant intellectual commentaries. All that stuff's gonna pop up if you put it in Anchor, iTunes.
Okay. Man, so I first came across you. Well, I think we have mutual friends anyway. But outside of that, when I met Jamie Elmore, and then we had a mutual connection there. But I was going to your griot party, I think, actually before I knew her. So for people that don't know,
you actually did some film work too. You did some film work for my one-person show.
Yeah, that was about the same time, right? It was all about the same time.
Yeah, you did my film work. I'm looking for my I got my book around here too, my book of poems. So,
yeah, it was a dope experience. I mean, that was down in Columbia City, Seattle area. Yep, and that experience was really fun. It was actually really cool to see all the talented people you brought together, because we haven't had a lot of that, and I don't think we've had anything like that since. Actually, so I kind of missed.
It was definitely an honor.
Yeah,
honor to work with Vitamin D and Phil Hines and Micah. Yeah, to have the band there. It was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, I think we took it for granted. We took it for granted. We didn't know. We didn't know what was coming down the pipeline. So now we're like, I wish I had one more day like that.
It's recorded. We recorded the whole thing. So we still got it.
Yeah.
That's right. I was definitely there. I enjoyed the griot parties as well. The experiences. I know you're still doing some online shows as well. So that's another way that folks can go have the experience.
Yeah, we're trying to schedule one for September 25th. We're trying to see if we can put that together.
Okay.
We do it on Zoom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's basically we have a roster of griots or storytellers, jollies, and we just use that platform. I think like two griot parties ago. The griot party experience officially went international with having people from Haiti. I took my trip to Haiti, I think back in June, and then I met over there, and then
Okay.
Can you tell? Oh, my fault.
Yeah, we had a brother from one of the people that I befriended, a brother over there, Max. He was actually one of our guests on the griot party talking about the history of the Haitian Revolution, and then he invited some people from Haiti. So yeah.
Hey, Logic, I wonder if I've seen this. Is he on YouTube at all? Because I just recently been watching stuff on Haiti just recently, and some young guy was giving a history of that. There's another guy from Atlanta that came to visit Haiti.
I'm
And it
not
was just
sure if Max is on YouTube. He might be, man.
okay.
Brother's like 25 years old and he's phenomenal. I feel like,
Yeah, he knew a lot.
my teacher, man, so
Okay.
like going to him, it's like, it's an exchange, I'm coming from the States, so I'm privy to a certain amount of knowledge
Right.
that he's not. And then he's privy to a certain amount of knowledge that I'm not, being, an actual, Haitian born,
Right.
raised there. And a lot of stuff is hidden from us,
Yeah.
So yeah, I would really love and appreciate taking a group of black folks, you know what I'm saying, to Haiti one day. And you right about
I'd be down, man.
like 2 hours away, Alvena.
I am actually. I'm a little bit closer than that.
Okay.
Like,
Really?
You must be down on the coast, down there by Miami then.
It's in my house. My son is Haitian. His father's Haitian, so
She went.
and the family
He's
and their
alright.
family do live like an hour away, so I could step in their house and it's a little bit of Haiti right there. I could get some of the good
She went
food
deep.
and
Man,
everything.
she went real deep.
I'm definitely
Haiti's
trying to.
inside
Yeah,
of
I
me.
went.
Haiti was inside of me.
I mean, it grew, and there's a whole entire human being out here. Stop. But yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely very well.
I don't know what this.
I
I don't know what this
welcome
episode is rated, but
This would be after hours.
I'm well connected to Haiti. Let's just put it there. And my son has been a couple times as well, so he has his experiences. I've been invited. I didn't make it out there quite yet.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to see it.
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great
So-
experience.
Kind of segue with that too is because so much stuff in our community like we don't know about. Just being black doesn't mean every black person in America is not connected. We're not connected with our blackness as much as we think we are. A lot of it is not passed down through our community. I always say, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I feel like the further we get away from the epicenter, from some of the southern roots, we kind of get. I always say this, but maybe people take offense to it, but I say a little watered down in my history of understanding what my blackness is. My grandmother's from the South. My dad is from Louisiana area. But there's the way I grew up in the educational system. I know you're in the educational system. I didn't get that information when I was going to, being born in Spokane, even raised in the Central District. I never had a black teacher until I was a senior in college, Dr. Scott from University of Washington. So I missed out on a lot of just understanding my community from the original black information that I could get, and then just growing up around that. Even though I grew up in the Central District, went to a black church and things of that nature, I feel like I still missed out, and I never went to a black college, so I always felt like, dang, I kind of missed out on some stuff. I'm trying to catch up, going through your grill party, stuff like that, and I learned on my own, but it's just a lot of stuff that I wish I had known as a young man. Would have given me more insight on who I am.
Yeah,
So
the books, man, the books. That's why, I have my own library here. It's like 1,000 books here. You know what I'm saying? Just got to get into those books. That's why we need not only book lists, but book study groups,
What's a good book that you would tell people they should probably go check out around about now? Being Black and Proud. Healing.
Being Black and Proud. I think one of the most. I think there's a couple like staples. If we just talking about like healing and just like how we love ourselves and each other, I would say Bell Hooks, trilogy, All About Love, Communion, and Return to Love. That's a trilogy. And then I would say Nadine Burke Harris's book, The Deepest Well, where a lot of people reference ACEs. That's where that comes from.
I don't know what that is. What's ACEs?
ACEs is adverse childhood experiences, and it's a test you can take. So it's like on a scale of like 1 to 10. It asks you 10 questions which impact how you deal with conflict and stress as you get older. And so I scored like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. It's based on your past adversities and trauma that you have.
Yeah, you get a point or another number every single time.
True, I mean, every single Black person should read that book.
Okay. Say one more time for everybody.
The Deepest Well by Nadine Burke Harris. You can start it off with the TED Talk.
Yeah.
That's a good start. You can start
Okay.
off. It's not a very big book, only like 200 pages, not very intimidating, and it's going to keep you involved. You're not going to want to put it down. I would say
Okay.
Culturally Responsive Teaching by Zaretta Hammond, too. That's a good book, too. Those are good companions. All four of those, well, that would be 5 books.
Okay.
3 books by Bell Hooks, Communion, All About Love, Return to Love, that trilogy. Then Nadine Burke, The Deepest Well, and then CRT, which is now CRE, Culturally Responsive Education, but it's CRT, Culturally Responsive Teaching by Zaretta Hammond. It talks about how the brain works,
Okay.
part of the brain, and how when it gets scarred, it really impacts like your fear receptors and your ability to learn, and how people move away from culturally responsive teaching practices with Black and brown people and historically oppressed people, and how it impacts us and how we treat ourselves and how we treat each other. So
Okay.
I would say those 5 books when it comes to just like building community. And on top of that, there's a couple honorary white folks that wrote some books too that's pretty good. Like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I think
I know about that. Yeah, I got those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
my fault.
The Art of Nonviolent Communication by
I got that one.
Yeah, I have that.
That's a powerful book. So like Rosenberg and Dale Carnegie are like my honorary white boys. Like they get busy.
Okay.
Those 2 books are really dope. But like on the history standpoint, there's so many. I would say, Black Spark, White Fire. That's a good book. It was written by a journalist. I think it was a white journalist. There's a book called The Broader Files by Anthony Broader.
I've heard Anthony Broader before.
Yeah. He's a
Okay.
anthropologist, kind of like he does like excavations now in Egypt, but he used to be a journalist, I think, for the Washington Post. He
Okay.
actually does tours now in Washington, D.C., where you can go on a tour. I'm going to go in October. He'll take you around Washington, D.C. and show you how it's influenced by ancient Egypt.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All the
Broader
sculptures
Files
and
dope. It's a dope, and it's a very small book. It's a collection of his articles he wrote for the Washington Post.
okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that gives a broad thing. But They Came Before Columbus is a dope one. I mean, there's just so many books when we talk about history. I just think that Black people really got to get serious about how they love themselves and how they love each other in their community. Because one of the issues you can do is you'll know a whole bunch of Black history, you know, a whole bunch of dates. You didn't watch the Hidden Color series and all that. You know what I mean? You know, you definitely getting your Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar,
Right.
but you know, you ain't got no social skills. You know, and so you're like, when you learn that information.
No, wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? How you speak with Black folks around the country, or?
No, I'm just about to tell you.
Oh,
You learn the information, and when you disseminating it and you're trying to teach someone else, you know, you do it with an iron fist.
Oh, I see.
Like you trying to shove it down people's throat. You're being self-righteous. You're being disingenuous.
Right.
You know, you're just trying to enforce all these different kind of standards based on what you know. You're being an elitist.
Right.
And it's just like anything else with oppressed people. When you introduce it to them, the first thing they want to do with something new is try it on people that look like themselves.
Right. Act like they're expert when they're not even expert in it. Yeah.
It's like that proximity pain type thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to hurt the people closest proximity to me.
Okay.
You should be using what you're learning to heal the people, you know? So we just got to be careful, like reading a whole bunch of history books and stuff like that and thinking that, you know, we're moving closer, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, solving our problems, because there's a lot of hidden agendas. There's a lot of respectability politics and a lot of value systems that are hidden in just knowing stuff. Like you start to think you're better than someone else because you know something that they don't.
What's the process of healing? What does that look like?
I think like the most important thing is listening to someone else's story. Because sometimes, like, you know, you need to know why you know something that someone doesn't know. And that has a lot to do with their story. You know what I mean? Like, I might know what Edward don't know, you know, because he just now explained it briefly in his story. He said he grew up in Spokane. He grew up, you know, he didn't grow up in the South. You know, he wasn't really bombarded with the information. I've been in and out of conscious circles, you know, since I was, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Small.
Let me clarify that. No, I did. You're right, though. I was born in Spokane till 8, but I was kind of forced in. I used to go to Douglas Street Library because I used to get bullied. And that's where I learned about a lot of Blackness, not just in the Black church, but I was hiding out in the Douglas Street Library. I ended up reading so many books in there on Blackness that it became kind of funny because people were like, they thought I was kind of like very militant as a little kid. And they were like, where'd that come from? And I was like, well, I mean, it seeped into my brain by reading those books and being around different folks. So I did get it, but I had to fight for it. It just wasn't given to me.
Yeah. And that story could be categorically different than another Black person.
Yeah.
That knows more than you or less than you, or, you know, just as much as you, you know?
Right.
You know, and then
different.
Just because you know something, that doesn't mean that it details your relationship to what you know too. You know, just because you know something doesn't mean that you're applying it to your life.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you bear witness to it. You might think like a lot of stuff, what you know is a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying, malarkey.
Yeah, you
But
know it in your head. You know it in your head, but you don't know it in your heart.
Sometimes people know a whole bunch of stuff so they can contradict it or so they can debunk it.
Yeah. How do you, let me ask this one, because I know you've been in the educational system, having awareness of a lot of Blackness. And I've heard you talk about this on one of your shows, actually, because you are a Black male in a system that doesn't have hardly any Black males at all. How do you navigate that
Like
system?
2%?
Yeah, but in his position, probably even less at the level he's at. So it's kind of like, how do you navigate being a black man in that system that historically and has been oppressing our communities in general?
Well, I remember when I was in the, I think when I was in Seattle, I was a dean of student and I was doing my principal intern. I think there was, out of like 125 or something like that administrators, I think only like 12 were Black administrators, even in the Seattle school district or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know what the stats are now. But you have to lead by example, and you have to make this job at least look, you know, something of value.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to put a premium on it. You can't just walk into this, I'm Black and I'm male, so, you know, I already know more than people who are not Black and male. You constantly have to be in your bag and researching and how you can educate yourself how to be a better person and to be a better servant of this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to look at it in the sense that you have to give people the freedom you want for yourself. And a lot of times, especially with Black men, we're automatically, you know what I'm saying, given so much power because of patriarchy. You know, a lot of our value systems are rooted in male leadership. You know, even when we, you know, most people in our community, when they refer to God, you know, it's like I was sitting down and I heard him talking to me. It's like, who's him? Well, I heard God talking to me, you know?
Okay.
Know?
Assuming that's a man?
Yeah, you know?
Okay.
Or just that's your reference point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the way you become a powerful, healthy, and effective Black male leadership model in these institutions is that you don't take things for granted. You investigate things and you look at how you can make every space safe enough for, you know, everyone to be included in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And how I do it is there's only one requirement that I have, and that you have to be committed to build community.
Okay.
You know, and
Mhm.
who determines the community? Who determines what is building community? The community does.
If
So that's
if
how
you
I
got
look at
value.
it. I mean, I don't, I really strive not to take too many days off, when it comes to being a black male educator, because it's very important,
Mhm.
that you teach to learn and you learn to teach. So, um, because when you become that kind of administrator, you become that kind of leader and you become that kind of teacher,
Mhm.
then that encourages other black males to follow after. That's the whole point. That's the end game. But if
Okay.
you just take this as, oh, I'm just gonna be friends with kids,
Right.
I'm gonna be lenient. I ain't really gotta study. They're gonna be like,
Mm.
number one, if they do follow you, there's a there's a high likelihood that they're gonna follow in your lackadaisical, ineffective footsteps.
Right.
Or if they choose not to, they're choosing not to because you don't take your job seriously.
Okay.
It's like, why would I aspire to be that? Why would I aspire to be that? Why would I want to be that?
Mm.
You
Mhm.
know?
What led you to? What led you, or who led you to want to be in the position that you're in? Was there a person within? Um, did you grow up in Tacoma only, or where are you from? Also,
Nah, I didn't grow
I
up.
don't think he's from Tacoma. He don't even act
Man.
like a Tacoma people.
I was born in Cleveland, raised in Cincinnati. I came to
okay,
Washington State, via my mom. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? And getting married to our stepdad.
okay.
Oldest little brother's father. So came here when I was 12.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yep. First came to Kent. I was there for like 3 years. Then I went to Issaquah for about 3 years, and then
Kent.
yeah.
Where did you go? Did you go? Where did you go to high school in Kent?
Yeah, no, I went to middle school. Actually they had junior high out there, so I went to Kent Junior High.
Okay, oh, that's right. The one down in
And I
the.
went to East Hill. I went to East Hill Elementary, and then I went to Kent Junior High.
I used to live over there. Yeah, I know Kent. I know those
Yeah,
areas.
yeah.
Okay.
Used to live in those apartments up on the top of what's the name of that big old hill out there?
To my East Hill area, or because
Yeah.
I used to live over there I used to live in some townhouses across the street from Kent Meridian. There was a Yin Louie there and
Yeah, I remember
Chuck E. Cheese.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah,
Chuck
I
E.
lived
Cheese.
right
I know
there.
where that is.
Yeah, I know where that is.
I lived on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last place I lived in Washington was Kent, but I was in the valley. I wasn't
Yeah, I
up on
used
top
to
of the
live
hill.
over there by Movie Mania. Those
Oh yeah.
apartments
Okay.
over there.
Okay.
Yeah, behind that Safeway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that area. Okay.
What is the name of that big hill though? That
Um.
Oh,
high is at the bottom of. Anyways.
Oh, so there's Central. The Central is a street that goes through Kent, and you got East Hill where I used to live up by Kent Meridian.
Yeah.
You're talking about the hill before that.
But
Yeah.
I stayed in Kent for about 3 years, and then
Okay.
went to Issaquah for about 3 years. I went to middle school in Issaquah for about 3 years, and then
Ain't no black people out there at all.
Nah, not that many at all.
Nah.
It's all
Okay.
about quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
And
it was just you.
my parents got divorced, and then I moved to Seattle. First
Okay.
came to the South End, then there just for a little bit, and then I was
Okay.
in Seattle, and then
Dang, you've been everywhere.
Then when I got over it, went back to the South End off of Cloverdale.
I know Cloverdale. My church was down there.
Where Corey Dillon used to live. I think his mom still lives there.
I used to go to church on Cloverdale, a little blue church on the corner.
Yep.
Yep.
South End is cool, but West Seattle West Side's the best side. So,
okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else in the other place though. I got that dual citizenship now. You know what I'm saying? Work in Tacoma, live in Seattle. I love Tacoma people. I like Tacoma. So I've been there at Lincoln High School for 11 years. So
Okay.
Wow.
this is my 24th year in education.
Nice. So what influenced you to get in there though? I mean, what was that? What was there a person or anybody that kind of gave you that insight?
Came from a family of from educators.
Okay.
My auntie was a teacher and a deputy superintendent and then elevated to superintendent of Cincinnati Public Schools. But before that,
Okay.
my grandmother was a teacher for like 30 years.
So it's in the family blood. Okay.
Yeah. So I just, got into the school district and was just cool with being a classified employee. I was a
Mm.
homeschool coordinator,
Mhm.
and then I was security for a while, and whole different episode. But
Okay.
I got, I was married for 12 years, and then at the, what I'm saying, the closure of that, at the divorce of that, I was like, a couple of different things happened, but one of the things is I need to make, I need to make up for two incomes. But that's not really the real reason why I went into it. But it was one of the many things that came out of me wanting to be, a principal. So I went from security and then teaching
Dang.
summers to being a principal in like 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm the only one who took that pathway. Some people go from
That's different.
being
Yeah,
a counselor
student
to being
teacher.
a principal. I think one of the most unique ones, other than mine, is I know of a nurse that went from being a nurse, who was my high school nurse, ended up being an administrator of security when I was security. She's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from high school." But I have a very unique path going from security and then teaching like summer bridge programs, and teaching debate. To be an administrator in 2.5 years.
Now, was there a program for that? Because I know you might know my
The
boy.
Danforth program. I got my master's in teaching
Okay.
and my teaching certificate from Heritage University. They have a satellite school in South Seattle, and then
Okay.
I used that to qualify for the Danforth program of the University of Washington. It's a pretty competitive program, so got in there and did my student teaching at Washington, but I did my principal internship at Rainier Beach.
Is that program still around?
Danforth? Oh yeah, it's definitely still around. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's a really good program.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna switch it up.
The education is because I'm a low-key blurred, man. I'm a nerd.
There it is.
I'm probably one or two outfits away in a sporting program from being an all-out just nerd.
There we
Yeah,
go. There we
and nothing wrong
go.
with that.
Nope.
So what we wanted to talk about, though, we're gonna jump right into it. I know you got to get to your run. Is we touched on building community and what that looks like and whatnot, but we also wanted to talk about how that crosses over into us doing this media production thing. I know a lot of us have gotten into it a bit more with podcasting and things like that, with us not being able to get together the way that we used to. And the question that I guess that you posed really was, and I mean, we've been talking about this a while as well, me and Edward, just about before we even started our podcast, is what's the purpose and how do we want to present ourselves and why, and
Why are you doing this?
yeah, why are you
Right.
doing this?
What's the purpose? Yeah.
Yeah. And for us, it's definitely what do we say, edutainment? It's the term for it. We definitely want to be educational and promote growth and healing and, just have more conversations about the things that our parents didn't talk about, so that vibrates and it actually does healing back and forth. Like my mom's reading more books. She wants to know what I'm looking at, and she's very interested in finding out what's new. She started using sage and things like that as well. I'm like, what? Okay, Mom. I mean, she put it in the greens already, but the sage for clearing out the spirits and things like that.
Just cleansing the air.
Yeah. So, like, what is the purpose for us doing this right here? Why are we here right now?
Man, I guess you have to ask your listeners that. That'd be a good survey. Why they watch y'all?
Yeah, I've been asking people actually.
Yeah,
I've been asking.
Some people, some people might just like a podcast like this, because it's eye candy. Some people,
I've heard that.
they can be like, y'all some good looking black folks. Y'all
Alvena told me some. That's why we try to cut my hair.
You know,
Let me talking. Yeah.
Another thing is, which I think is important, is it's one of the easiest. I be telling people it's one of the easiest ways to support a Black business. You know, but people don't really understand that. But you got to be able to get your grind on too, like literally by subscribing, following, and commenting. You know what I'm saying? To a Black person's podcast. As a content creator, you're supporting a Black business. I mean, because that helps them attract and generate ad money, and people give money for their airtime and whatnot. But you could also just be on here also too, taking up someone's boredom so they don't hurt themselves or someone else.
Yeah, I mean, we also definitely try to make sure we're adding value, and conversation me and you had, like, that could be popping pimples. Some people need to watch that. They like to watch that for entertainment or distractions. So they could be doing something completely different, but instead they're watching that, and that's helping them deal with their anxiety. Nah.
I ain't got nothing in my skin that's too smooth for all that anyway.
Yeah, we got that shea butter, baby. That shea butter, baby. Yeah. But also, I think it's important for us as Black folks to add more of our voice and create this content so that it's out there. It's like the hieroglyphics and the writings on the walls for us. Once we're gone, this information will still be there. We don't know what effect it's going to have, but we definitely, propose for it to be a good effect. And for whoever's watching it, they might be looking for something. And if you're looking for something, you can find everything, but we definitely want to be a part of the solution, not the problem. So, we definitely try to make sure that we're producing something that's positive and uplifting for our community.
Yeah, I would add to that. Go ahead.
No, man, you the guest, man. Go ahead.
No, it's important that we understand that we're not like dictating what is valuable to someone too. And when you say I want it to have value, I see a lot of podcasts, with people, and they know a lot. They know a lot of stuff. What I'm saying? I'll give one example. And when you see this happening a lot in the quote unquote conscious podcast community, like Young Pharaoh. Like, you go on Young Pharaoh, man, the brother got the locks, young brother, was in prison for a little bit. And you can tell, he's about his grind. I mean, he got his followers up, he's doing his thing. But he has this demeanor and this posture like
almighty.
My knowledge reigns supreme over everybody. And he's like always trying to battle people. And it's entertaining, but it sets up a value system of it's a very unsafe environment, for learning, because you become intimidated because you feel like your voice isn't valuable if you don't know as much as him.
Right.
And sometimes creating value to someone's life not only means like giving them something to do with their boredom, but some people's lives are so stressful and they're so exhausting that just to sit down and do nothing but just listen to someone talk, aimlessly and randomly about a sitcom they're watching is valuable to their life.
Right.
Because it gives their brain and their emotions a break from the stressful, aspects of their lives. So when we're doing these podcasts, building community is, asking your listeners what is valuable, but it's also understanding that you don't get to make the rules for what is valuable for everybody.
Right. Yeah. There's only so many people who's interested in seeing what it is that we got to talk about and who we are. And also, I think it's valuable just showing up, period. Like, I'm imperfect. I'm still doing my own work. I'm a therapist, but I'm still going to a therapist so that I can continue my healing and continue my growth. Like, I show up here broken, vulnerable. Like, I'm scared. Like, every single time we record, I'll be like, Edward, did I say something crazy? Make sure you cut that out.
And I tell her I ain't cut nothing out. We authentic.
I'm like, please.
It's all right. It's okay. Unless it's crazy.
But But
go ahead.
that's still, I mean, that's also still like we're even that is modeling. We're showing how we could trust each other in this situation and do this platform. Because if I didn't trust you to a certain extent, I wouldn't be on this show with you. I wouldn't have committed to doing this with you. And so we're showing how Black people can work together. That's another thing we've talked about as well, and how we can synergize and create a community that works, that's positive, that's healing, that's growing, that's safe. Um, we just showing up and we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, the way I grew up, part of my growing up is being in Spokane and being in diverse communities. I went to Ukrainian churches, Baptist churches, moved to Seattle, gang life. I knew all that stuff. I wasn't in it, but I was around all of it, and I learned so much from every group of people I've been around. And so I think for me, my way of giving back to my community in general is just sharing my experiences and my appreciation for all the people that I've either been taught directly through or that I've watched and I've been able to soak it in, realizing that I've had a lot of access to a lot of different opportunities that wouldn't necessarily come from the stereotypical background that I come from, without a dad, without having all these other situations. And I know to be true because I know people who grew up in the same neighborhood never got the same access that I got. And I wasn't better or smarter than any of them. It was just I had access. And so what I would like to do with this and everything I work in is about providing an opportunity for people to get access to information. And then for me to learn from other people, because I don't know that much. I know a little bit of stuff. But the more people I interact with, the more I can share with everybody else. Because you might not get to see the Vietnamese lady that I speak to all the time about gardening and stuff like that. And I be able to take that to this situation. Me and Alvena had a conversation earlier today about what are we going to do? Like I was challenging her and myself about survival. Do you have enough basic stuff to keep you and your son alive for 2 weeks? What does that look like?
Preparedness, yeah.
Yeah, but I've been learning that from my childhood stuff, but also from my neighbors. Every single morning I get to watch, I think she's a Korean lady across the way from me. She's doing her gardening every single morning, like clockwork. And I'm taking that back to my life. Say, hey, I'm going to build my little garden in the back. Alvena, what you got going on? And then we want to talk about that in the podcast form. So other people that may not even have that conversation, maybe they'll start thinking that way. And we start building community that way too. So I just like sharing, bottom line, learning and sharing.
Yeah, you need to share how you grow those gardens. I'd be killing them.
Oh, do you?
Plants.
Man, see?
Oh no!
I tried to grow
you said you're killing them.
I thought you were saying like he was doing well.
I thought you was dope at it.
Yeah.
Killing when it comes to growing things does not mean a good thing.
Well, there's a few different plants.
If I was doing a good thing, I was like, I was giving life to it.
Yeah,
well, you might. Right. I mean, you might have to have some of those plants that are easy to care for to begin with. Like,
I killed them all. I will kill a sucker.
I got some insight for you though. So I had a chance to have dinner with Debrina Jackson, her family, and her dad was giving me insight on, they got a lot of property, and the mom, I guess, found out she's a master gardener, and they were telling me certain plants to grow. They said collard greens.
She just found out.
Huh?
She just found out she's a master gardener. Must be
nice. Sometimes you could actually find your green thumb, because I was like you, Logic, where I couldn't keep a plant alive, I couldn't keep a goldfish alive, but then somewhere in there, I was able to just really do well and flourish with a few plants. I'm not out here keeping
You're talking about cactus, are you?
No.
Okay.
But I got the simple, leave it by the sunlight. Yeah. Make sure you water it once a week. Don't let it die type situation. But I also did just invest in a greenhouse. So I got to see what I can grow out here because I want to grow my own food. I feel like that's important given the current situation. Important. And also, I grew up like that. My stepfather, who raised me from like the age of 6, we had a garden growing up. We always had a garden in the backyard. And my mother, they're both Mississippi, so I was out there with that hoe doing the I was out there with the hoe and the shovel.
With the hose.
Mississippi hoeing.
Yeah, we had to dig up the rows so that we can plant our garden every year. So I know what that looks like and how that feels, and then the harvest.
We're missing that right now.
Like, getting those fresh strawberries, that corn, those snap peas, those greens and cabbage. We grew squash, cucumbers, all that. So, I miss that. That's something that I've been longing to have again. And I feel like it does reconnect me to some healing and some purpose that's in myself that I don't want to lose. Those are values that I don't want to lose. And it also helps me to feel closer to my parents.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's part of the community. I mean, my grandma did the same thing. She used to can vegetables and all kind of stuff. When Mount St. Helens blew up, she had so much stuff in our cellar that she was handing it away for free. Water and whatever she had in the backyard, fruits and stuff like that she canned. And some of the things that we've talked about is that's part of our community, and that's part of the culture that we've kind of lost a little bit. Not everybody, but I know a lot of people I know from the South that live here or from the South, they don't do that stuff anymore. Some of them are trying to get back into that. My family has roots. I think every Black person has, roots in that. But how many of us are practicing that now? And with this pandemic situation, it's even more important. If you go to the store, you start realizing they ain't got that much food there. It's not a lot. If something really bad happened where they can't deliver in 2 weeks, you're going to be sitting there talking about where's my food coming from. And I think just from a survival standpoint, it'd be nice for us to have the preparedness to have our own food, maybe even enough to share. I got a yard, and I've talked to some people about buying property. What does that look like? Can we farm our own property? And if we have an abundance, we give some stuff away for free, or we do it as a group and we sell it and make some money and help our community that way. So just different stuff, different ideas. But I think we do need to have that.
And then we bring logic in with the healing stories, and everybody does what they need to do in the community is good.
It sounds so easy. We just now.
Man, you make soap, man. But you make soap, man. I thought you probably had a big old garden because you can make soap. I saw your soap. Yeah,
that soap is. I got mine on the way. In the mail.
Send me your address. Send me your
address,
Edward, so I can send you.
I want some, man. Yeah, I saw that last night. I was like, wait, this guy. I feel like we're very similar. I think it's a few Black people.
Tonight. You said what?
Really? I think I feel very similar. I think we're very similar in the creativity mindset of just. I don't see you being scared to try things, and you don't. I laugh at some of the stuff that you do because you're serious and then just hella funny at the same time. Because I do the same thing. People don't always see the silly side of me, but Alvena probably sees a lot more now.
I'm super.
It's called dry humor. Then
I got a lot of dry humor.
Yeah, he does.
Silly. I switch.
I have that too. Yeah.
A lot of people don't even know when I'm joking around, but then I can be real serious too. But
yeah,
that's it. That's what life's about, man.
Yeah.
People
you gotta have a sense of humor that's relatable.
People need to, throw away their cool card. People be trying to be so cool. I'm like, nope. I got a rule. It's 80-20. 80% of my jokes are just really, really just like funny, serious, dry humor, and then 20% are just intentionally corny.
Okay.
Corny works, man. I love puns. I love double entendres. I told you I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
So, plus, I'm a principal and an educator too, so I can't be out in these streets just cussing and stuff.
Oh, that's true.
And just being vulgar, you know what I'm saying?
We'll
Gotta get creative.
Yeah,
definitely.
It makes it harder for me, but I guarantee you, if I can be funny by being intellectual and not using any cuss words with an expanded vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? I'm already got an advantage, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, then they just throw a little, you know what I'm saying, a little cuss word in here and there. It can make it extra funny.
Yeah.
Or they
So,
throw a
more
little
like
slur up in there,
more like a Will Smith.
Throw a little slur. Nah, I'm not really the Will Smith.
What kind of rapper are you, though?
Well, I mean, he's cool. I thought the Fresh Prince, he was kind of funny. I don't know.
And then you rap. What is your music about? I want to know a little bit more about the music that Logic makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good though. Actually, you're pretty good. I like it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I get busy with the rapping though.
He does.
I really do. I really don't play around with the rapping. I don't.
That actually surprised me. It actually surprised me because I was like, all right, here we go. Let me check this dude out. And I was like, that's when I was filming. Actually, when I was filming you guys, I was like,
I was there that night too. I didn't know Edward yet, but I was there.
I was on the stage filming. That's so funny. I didn't see you. I didn't know you back then.
I was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
wow. But there was people sitting by me like, oh, I didn't know there was actually a rapper sitting by me or nearby. I think it was 211. And he was like, I didn't know that Logic rap.
That's hilarious, man, because I was right there. I was
that the one-person show or the grill party?
That was the grill party. It was a whole party.
It
was packed. It was a packed and hot summer night. It was hot.
Was it the first one? Was that
I
the
think it was
first
the
one?
first one at the
Yeah, I was there.
over there. Yeah.
That's
That was
hilarious.
sold out. Yeah.
Yes, it sure
And
was.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah, the rapping and the producing, to be honest with you, you asked me why I got into education and stuff like that. Because I was, the real reason is because I became a father and a husband, at like 22, 23 years old.
Mm.
I was married for like 12 years.
I still
But
have your daughter's artwork.
oh,
I bought it at the
daughter's
grill
art-
party.
yeah, daughter's artwork. Our
Yep.
artwork is
Yep.
on point, man.
Yep. I still have it.
It's all throughout my house.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say was it's because I originally wanted to be an entertainer, a rapper,
Okay.
I can see that.
producer, or actor, comedian. I still do
Mhm.
stand up, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't going to sacrifice my duties as being a husband and a father to pursue, what I'm saying, my individual, what I'm saying, goals and
Right.
desires to be an entertainer, because that life is really hard. It's hard on families. It's hard on marriages. It's hard on parenting.
Mm.
And I didn't want to do that. So now that my children are 22, 23, 24 years old, my oldest will be 25 on the 7th of November. Now I can, like, you know what I'm saying, like, travel how I want to travel. I'm sitting in my studio / library now. I can make music, but I made a lot of music
Mm.
when I was younger and I was a parent, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But now it's all about distributing it now. But I got hundreds of songs, but I really take that serious. And it's always funny, man, because people be like, oh yeah, you rap. Oh, okay. Yeah, you rap. I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
really do. So I'm looking forward when we talk about in all seriousness, when we talk about why we do these podcasts and things, like, we have to start creating our own entertainment venues
Right.
and avenues to heal our people, because too many times when the institutions that preserve racism and white supremacy and oppression, when they control our artistry, that's becomes a problem, because that's our expression.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we can't express ourselves the way we want to, if we don't have that freedom, that becomes a problem. And the powers that be, they know that us expressing ourselves is the key to
Yes, it
unlocking
is.
so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say that to say this is like, I'm creating my own sitcoms. I just now got finished this weekend, just making the theme song for our sitcom. I got a group of brothers together.
What's it called? What's it called?
It was called 4 Men, 4 Men. Ooh, I shouldn't have did that.
Oh,
The-
we can cut it.
I'll check it out. I'll check that out.
Never mind. My bad.
It's called 4 Men, 4 Men. It's about 4 men, 4 men, and we just
Okay.
basically we're using humor to talk about, saying what Black men go through. Because, you got,
Oh, okay.
Girlfriends, you got Sex in the City. There's a couple
Okay.
other sitcoms that came out recently on these viewing platforms like Netflix and whatnot, and on Amazon, that show like the lives of 4 Black women. But you ain't really got nothing that shows like the lives of 4 Black men.
Yeah, y'all are kind of
How they feel,
in the back.
like that. So on the show, we want to break down stuff like sexism, misogyny, ableism, racism, just different stuff. Mental wellness, for Black men, but use it using comedy and using humor to slide that stuff in there, because that's a lot of heavy lifting. So you gotta lighten the load with humor. And then what we're gonna
A little
have,
sugar with your medicine.
yep. You gotta hide the pill in a cupcake. Feel me?
That's what we talk about that.
So, what was I gonna say is after we want to have a companion to the actual sitcom though. And my idea is that we actually have a podcast after each episode, even if it's like 15 minutes, when we're sitting there breaking down, because we're see, here's the deal. When Black people start creating humor, everyone wants to get super duper on cancel mode, super duper on censorship. So if we don't explain our humor and tell people what we're actually doing and what what I'm saying, our game plan is, then you're gonna hear a lot of people, oh, you guys just want an excuse to make fun of disabled people. You know what I'm saying? And we hear that a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
so you want to put it in context.
got to put it in, you got to educate them on the other end just to cover your butt. You know what I'm saying? Because people like to be super duper petty when it comes to Black humor.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't understand like the whole purpose of calling it a sitcom means that you've created a safe place for people to laugh at really serious, difficult things to talk about in real life.
Right.
But you knew that because you knew it was a sitcom. But you still will proceed to put labels on people who do that kind of art, satirical art, because you want to be petty, because you want to be super duper, you know, just controlling and micromanaging how we heal ourselves.
It's that hate. It's that self-hate that kicks in. I mean, it's not just other folks, it's us that's tapping in and doing the hate. You know, it's really important that we recognize that as well. But people gonna have something to say regardless, no matter how much you break it down. You know, you are good at breaking things down. You're a master at communicating things, and then people still want to see it and have their own perception and break it down the way they want to break it down, regardless of how you put it out.
Right.
But you clear. I mean, as long as you clear, that's still like as you've done your due diligence at that point, right?
I appreciate the fact that you're creating though, and I think, you know, there's a lot of analysis paralysis type of thing. You know, people always say they want to do this, want to try that, but you never see any production of anything. Like, be talking about stuff for years in our community. And there's no fault for anybody doing that, but I like the fact that you, Jamie, ourselves, what we're doing, and other folks around the country are just like, you know what? I'm gonna put whatever I want to put out there. Yes, I'm thinking about the overall context of how I put things out there, but at the end of the day, I'm still putting stuff out there. I might have to tailor it a little bit, but for the most part, I think, you know, you're being authentic of who you are. I know we are. People don't see everything because we also understand, there's some things that are sensitive, things that just got to be careful, kind of step onto a little eggshell sometimes. But at the end of the day, we're still going to talk about it, but we'll adjust a little bit. But I love seeing Black folks not being scared to put the voice out, being silly, not being silly. Like, I ain't got to prove my intellect. All you guys are super smart, so we don't have to prove our intellect to anybody. So the fact that we can be these high level people and still be funny, corny, or whatever, I think we're inspiring other people to be able to take those chances at least. Like, man, this, you know, the acting thing, just throw yourself out there. You don't know what's going to lead. I don't know. I mean, being silly, being serious, who cares? At the end of the day, you're going to be 90 years old wishing that you had to do something. Like, are you going to care about you were a little corny or a little, you know, I'm not going to care. I'm just want to impact people. And, you know, God gave me a seed, planted seeds in us. We all got talent. We're supposed to nurture those things and put them out there.
Yeah, you gotta live out your dreams, your goals, your purpose. And like you said, for me, I want to be a therapist, but I also want to be a model and an actress. So I make sure I do that too. This is me making sure that I don't die with my music still in me. That's from Wayne Dyer. He's a white homie who passed away. Rest in peace. So, you know, I have to create this content in order to reach my fullest potential and the best me as well. So it's also for me, you know, if people are partaking in it, then that's cool. But, you know, if it gets one view, that's cool too. I'm still doing what it takes for me to get to who it is that I want to be and who I'm supposed to be, who I'm purposed to be out here in these streets.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the word. We need to really pay attention, man. We really got incredible artists out here afraid to say certain things because they don't want to be canceled. They don't want to be they don't want to be criticized and shamed. And we have to understand that there's power in words. And a lot of times we say a lot of words, but we don't really look at words and break them down. For instance, creative, creator. You know what I'm saying? So when you're being creative, you're really expressing the what? The creator. And we also call God the creator. Right? You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that it is that deep. It is as deep as they don't want black people with brown skin, melanated people, to really create, because then they will see that they are the creators.
Yep.
It really is that deep.
Yeah.
As much as that they can neutralize you. We have to remember that there's been government documents like the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover said, COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, was put into action to stop the rise of a black messiah. Like, this is what they're actually saying.
Yeah.
But to neutralize our creativity means they neutralize the creator. Just shut up and play ball. Shut up and work on the field, any kind of field. Baseball field, cotton field, you know what I'm saying? Football field. You pick a field. You know, so you got to keep creating. But here's the deal. We have to be responsible with our creations.
Right.
So we have to create. It's not so much about what we actually create and what we cultivate, but we have to make sure that we're managing it and containing it, that it stays in a space that is safe. Now, I talk a lot about, you know, NWA. Man, I love NWA. I appreciate them. They're my favorite group. I will argue someone that they're the greatest group ever, but they're highly toxic.
Right.
So it's just like an animal that is poisonous, or any kind of creation or creature that is poisonous. You have to block it off so it does not have as much freedom, you know what I'm saying, to harm people. Meaning you have to create safe places to actually enjoy NWA, meaning where's the, you know, sexism and misogyny and the self-hate in their music? Can you pinpoint that? I think that we do too much of censorship. We don't do enough of counseling. We do too much canceling, but we don't do enough education. And these creations are just like wildlife. You know, there's a whole bunch of, you know, animals and life forms out there. Some are poisonous, some are not. Some are nice to look at, some are not, but they're still creations. And once we stop creating, then life kind of stops. So we just got to be responsible with our creations, like, you know, explaining what we said. And if you're not able to explain what you said and educate what you said, then maybe you shouldn't be saying it.
Or if you just don't care, like there's you know, folks who just don't care,
and there's a space for that too.
That's not good though. Like, you should actually care.
Yeah,
like
you should always care, but there's also a space for that too. Like, listen to them, because that's like straight up fast food entertainment. You know, it's candy. You know, it's not good.
Right.
So
but I still like it.
You put limits. Yeah, exactly. You put limits to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
it's like cupcakes. I love them. I can't have. I had 4 today. I should not have had 4. I know that.
What? Are you
I did.
serious?
have 4 cupcakes?
It's your guys' fault though. I did.
From a non-judgmental standpoint, what?
You're judging me. I did.
You have 4 cupcakes?
I didn't eat all dang day, and I went to the store because of you. I said, man, I gotta get cleaned up.
We talked about this. We talked about this many times.
But I'm going back to his NWA scenario. I literally was like, I don't need them. I know it. I didn't have none yesterday, the day before, but I only have them once a week. So is it okay for me to have 4 this one time and never again? And it was a special guest, got Logic on the thing. So I needed
again. I don't
not till next week.
You over here lying now?
Right. Straight lying to yourself.
Lie detector have batteries in it?
But
But
you know, I get everything is not good for us. So like Logic said, you know, I think everything in doses.
Man.
Yeah, moderation. Yeah.
Logic, I guess that, you know, I know you got to go do your run. I guess I keep the time here. Edward never will, and I know you don't want to push us off here. I know you got things to do, like maybe 5 more minutes.
Yeah. We can go for 5 more minutes.
How many miles you putting in?
Tell me a little bit about your health consciousness.
You know what?
What's
to
that
tell
journey?
You the truth, Edward, I didn't even know I was running until Alvena told me I was running. I just started out. So I guess I'm running today.
She's fat shaming.
Oh, you are.
My personal trainer told me I'm running, so I'll speak up.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm probably just speaking for myself. I'm supposed to start running according to me, but I'm trying to get that going for myself over here. I do have a body that would encourage me, to run. It's good for mental health as well. It's all connected, really. It's holistic. So I'm planning on doing a little bit more of that outside of just my walking. My walking is cool, but I'm walking with my 60 something, almost 70-year-old mom. Like, I'm on her pace. Like, I might be able to do a little bit more with the pep in my step. She faster than me.
No shade at her.
She faster than me. There's no shade.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think your mom.
You know what?
Faster than you.
I mean, there's definitely there's women who are killing me in the game. They're killing me in the game.
She was doing a lot of walking while you were not inside of her stomach. So the fact that you know what I'm saying, she's walking a little bit slower than you right now.
She's stronger than me. I'm not even like she's stronger than me. The truth be told. But
don't do that. Don't do that.
But what drives you? What drives you to do your fitness and keep that on point? Because
what drives me?
Yeah, I noticed that you're fit.
Man, can someone try to run up?
Hey, that's actually real, man.
Yeah,
hey, you're right.
That's survival. We was talking about that earlier too.
Man, I'm constantly preparing for the zombie apocalypse, man.
Ain't no joke.
It's coming.
No joke.
I feel like if I stay in Tacoma, I could probably stretch it out like 20 years because everything comes Tacoma late.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. So if I stay,
let's talk about 253.
Exactly. If it happened in Seattle, it's not gonna get to Tacoma until 20 years because I still got
it is not that bad.
No, he's exactly.
It might
right.
be okay.
I used to go to K&G on Tacoma and be like, "Yo, what the heck, man? These fools got curl. They still got the curl things on their head. Do rags,
Jerry curls,
Jerry curl bags. It wasn't recent before coronavirus.
They still have a Kmart.
Oh,
they hold on. They hold on.
That's on 6th Avenue.
Dang. Yeah, that says a lot.
Probably
I'm
about.
from Tacoma.
I mean, they had like one of the last blockbusters in the.
I was about to say that. There's a Netflix thing called the last blockbuster.
Yeah, over by the Target.
They had one.
Theater.
I ain't gonna even lie because West Seattle had a blockbuster for a minute too, though. For a minute.
Okay.
I miss Blockbuster. That was fun to go walking in there and picking your movie on the Saturday night.
Oh, that was my date nights, man. Oh my goodness.
But
that was after church for me.
the pandemic, what I'm saying, definitely maintains inspiration to work out too, man. You gotta man, people be thinking they can just vaccine their way out of this, man. You gotta take those vitamins and work out, just move 30 minutes a day at least. Go for a walk with your fast mom.
She be moving. I've always tried to keep up with her. This is true.
Like 5 minutes ago, you doing
it?
I didn't say all that.
She's trying to
words in my mouth,
reversing it.
Exactly. Mom, I did not say that.
She'll be watching.
You're seasoned. As long as I cover with seasoned, then I'm back in good graces.
Yeah, it's a lot of salt being thrown in the wound.
Ooh. Salty. Well, I mean, I come from my mama, so I think I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah. All right.
I got my name from my mama.
As much as possible. If she's watching this,
get that belt out.
Girl, you on that show talking about I'm slow?
She will still try to whoop me. She be like, ain't never too late. Never too late. Could still get a whooping.
Yep.
Too late, never too late.
Sing it. Sing it, Logic.
I got one question to I don't know what
we're gonna wrap it up. This is it, Logic.
I know.
This is it, Edward.
Now I just want to ask what's next, because I know you talked about the show, having your sitcom. My question is, where would you like to see your productions and what you're doing in that space in 2 or 3 years?
Man, I want to, I want to be, YouTube, what I'm saying, semi-famous. I want to at least have 1,000 followers. People really need to get this humor though, man, for real. They really need to get this. That's where I want to see it. I want to see the grill party in all seriousness. I want it to be, distributed more, what I'm saying, in a household name, what I'm saying, in Seattle, what I'm saying, across the country.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Monsoon.
I'm allergic to my own perfume. My bad.
You could tell she's from Tacoma because she's still sneezing in her hand. Okay. Most people who are advanced, they're doing this.
I'm in my own house by myself.
Hold of their arm.
I don't even go outside.
She's
Look.
behind about 20 years. She literally sneezed in her hand.
All on the microphone.
God damn.
I need another drink.
Yeah, you need put some alcohol in your hand.
Remember that?
Put some wine on your hand, see if it disinfected. But no, man, I want to see myself in film festivals and getting recognized, you know what I'm saying, for the creative work I do. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I took damn near 20 years off of my art, you know what I'm saying, of being a stand-up comedian and whatnot. I got a second movie coming out that I starred in all seriousness. It's a sequel. So the first movie, and I don't tell this to a lot of people, but, you know, I'll go ahead and do it now. Go on your YouTubes and go on the Fantasy A Gets Jacked.
Wait, say it again?
Fantasy
A Gets Jacked.
Fantasy
A, like the letter A?
Yeah, I'm one of the star characters in there. I'm an antagonist, you know.
I just pulled it up.
That sounds about right.
Rapper. And yeah, it's a pretty goofy, silly movie. It's about 20 minutes long. We're shooting a feature now. The sequel, Fantasy A Gets Fantasy A Gets Frustrated. It's a full-length feature. Hour and a half movies are going to be submitted to film festivals. So that's coming out.
This looks pretty good, man. I was reading the comments. It says, I must be honest. This short film is really special and incredible. Funny, great lines, creative camera work, solid creativity, circumventing limitations. Fantastic job. Somebody else said 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wrote that, bro.
Obviously. I didn't put that from a spam.
Shout out to my homeboys, Dave and Noah, two white boys, younger than me. They saw me doing stand up. I think David saw me doing stand up at an open mic somewhere, probably at up on Broadway or maybe down at Seattle Comedy Underground. Rest in peace. And was like, man, they hit me up on Facebook. It's like we're shooting a movie. That was like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My co-star in the movie. You know, it's kind of like a buddy film a little bit.
Yeah.
He's actually in the sitcom I'm shooting.
Okay.
Writing.
Real quick, last question, so that we actually hit the nail here on the head. That's an important thing to do. How do we continue to build these communities and also synergize and come together so that, you know, it's actually a conglomerate of Black cooperatives building something that's powerful, lasting, has longevity, you know, moving forward? Like what are the major keys, DJ Khaled?
Well, we got to share our fan bases. I don't even like the word fan bases, but share our fan bases, share our supporters. So we should be networking with each other, however that looks like. You know, if it looks like, well, I'm gonna send you a PDF, or I'm gonna send you a document with all the emails of everyone who supports, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, my podcast, you know what I'm saying? Tap into them, send them, you know what I'm saying? You know, your promotions and whatnot. Another thing that we need to do is that we need to be creating content creator pods where, like, there's some Black podcasters and black content creators that actually go to the extent where they rent out a house, put their money together for like a month, and then they film the whole thing. But the whole time they're creating content together. You know, and it becomes like, you know, healthy challenges and whatnot. We got to do that too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get together and create these networks that actually come together as actually institutions to provide healing, you know what I'm saying, through the arts. One of the things y'all need to do first and foremost is get a part of one institution. That's Dr. Keenan Davis. He's out of Portland, Oregon. He recruited me. He hit me up and was like, man, I've been watching.
Oh, that's what he was telling me about. Yeah.
You got to get down with one institution. We got a distribution of 10,000 listeners. we're creating a Netflix for Black podcasters. We need you about part of the team.
What's it called?
Conference call, one institution. I email, I'll text me. I'll put us on the email thread together.
Okay.
If I can have your permission and give him your email or your phone number, and
Absolutely.
I'll hand you off to him, and he'll go.
Thank you.
There. Because a lot of people, they say they want to do it, and I don't check back in to see how far my referrals went.
Right.
But some people just say they want to do it, but they don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? So, and it's important that we be on each other's shows and stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That content. So.
Yep, I'm popping up on one of yours soon. As soon as I get the courage to get in there with knowledge and logic.
Well, all you have to do is just have an opinion, and it's a safe space.
Tomorrow, I got one of those. I got an opinion.
We're actually doing one tomorrow on Seed Talk. You do Seed Talk at least once a week. We strive to do it on Wednesdays, but we're doing tomorrow on dress codes. Like how do we use dress codes to oppress each other with respectability politics, but at the same time, how do we use dress codes and a form of uniform to build community? You know what I'm saying? Because we look at it like the Panthers.
It's a distraction.
You knew when the Panthers was coming. They had the berets. They had the black leather jackets.
Okay.
The men and the women. They had
continuity.
That was dope. It's like
unity.
Or the Nation of Islam. You see the brothers.
They're serious.
And the bow ties and the beam. That's uniformity.
It's that branding.
Also see things where dress codes can be used. You know what I'm saying, to oppress women. Also too. You can't wear certain things and that.
2 inches from the knee skirts and things like that.
Or shaming women based on what they wear, or making it like justifiable to do certain things to women based on what they wear, which is trash, because we don't like when the police do certain things to us and try to justify it because our pants are sagging, or we got a do-rag a certain color on. Even dealing with our own selves, you know what I'm saying? It's like, a color of a do-rag or the color coordination of your clothing could mean you're from a certain area in a city.
Right.
Issue. So
I have to tell my son, like, don't wear all red unless you're blood. Like, I know you like to try to do this coordination thing, but like, unless you
gotta know your surroundings. Gotta know your environment.
But it even goes even deeper than that. A lot of people were telling their sons not to wear pink. That's gay. It's like, now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's okay to wear a dress if you're a Muslim, but it's not okay to wear a kilt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we go through this all the time. Like, we're seeing a lot of this now. Like you see like Russell Westbrook wearing a kilt. You're like, oh man, what's going on with this, man? This is gay. I'm like, okay, but I bet you wouldn't say that, to the Samoan brother.
Nah.
No. Wrong.
The Rock? Nope. Nah.
Not at all.
I don't think you're saying that to him.
Nope.
So what's the difference?
Nope.
What's the difference? There is a difference, but let's talk about it. Let's unpack it. We do this, we take this dress code thing too far. And my point is that it's not based on our value system. If we created the value system, then I would be cool with us making these, dress code violations and these dress code comments, but we're not even creating the value system. You know what I mean?
Where's it coming from? What's the root?
Yeah, where's it really coming from? We know where it's coming from. It's come from us being indoctrinated, and there's a certain set of incentives of us dressing how we think that the oppressor wants us to look.
What the master wants. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a big day.
We gotta learn how to code switch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was a big day when I went to my first interview with the Afro. I was like, yes, I don't care if I get the job or not today. I came in with the Afro.
Yeah. Well, we know the power of dress codes when it even comes down to, let's go deep about it. When it comes to wearing a mask, you send a strong message of your political views, potentially, if you're not wearing a mask or if you are wearing a mask. You could send a message if you're wearing a hood or not.
Yeah.
That's a form of protest. Yep. Trayvon started that, by proxy. I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
You You know,
Yeah.
so like dress code, you know, means a lot, man. It'd be cool to have y'all on the show. I'll send y'all the link if y'all want to be down.
Yeah, I like your show, man. I like your
Definitely
show.
coming through.
I always be chiming in.
Yeah, Edward always have something to say.
I see him in the comments trolling.
He be doing his Kanye.
Yeah, he be on that BST time too, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, talking about that BST time.
He be on that booty specific.
It's time for my booty to get to bed because it is the East Coast, and I do.
That might have been your best one ever, bro.
You like that one?
Good job. See, that was that intentional corny that worked. That worked. It was extremely corny and extremely funny.
Yep. It's right on time.
He's like, yep. I'm trying to do it again. Yeah. Watch me work.
That's that one shot, that one half court shot. I was like, we're there. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love it.
Right,
Definitely.
it was great hanging out with y'all. Let's connect. Hey,
yes, sir.
Ed, send me your address. I'm gonna put some of this soap in the mail for you. I'm making some new ones tonight.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, man, keep content creating, man. That's the message, man.
Yeah.
You know, create.
Yeah.
Because when you stop creating, then you stop being a reflection of the creator. You know what I mean?
You die. It's over.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's done, son. Thank you so much. Yeah,
All right, love y'all.
That's extreme.
All right, man. Love you too. Thank you.
Peace.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to bed. Good night.
All right, y'all. Great show, y'all. So we out of here, man. We had a good time with Logic. And yeah, so that's it, y'all. All right. See ya.
If you want to free your mind and have that positive energy, you'll find it's a place that's full of joy. Because we laugh and have fun, and we learn how to stay healthy. If you want to keep your energy high,